There you go. All right, how we doing? Friday Freestyle. Here we are. Here we grow. Today's guest goes way back. One of my great friends. Met him as busboys at the Sawgrass Marriott, Cafe on the Green. They called us dining room attendants. It was just a nice way to say busboys. Now he's the founder of Gray Frog Media, lead guitar for Strange Day, one of the most creative people I have ever known. And just to plug real quick, if you want to elevate your brand and you're a little scared of video, this is your guy. He'll calm you down. He'll make it happen, everything from concept to completion. He's also played a crucial role in hybrid events for companies where you're in person and broadcasting it. He's created podcasts. Dan Stewart, welcome to Friday Freestyle. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
All
You,
right.
you oversold me. I said that earlier.
Well, yeah, it's well, I like to set proper expectations, and I think you live up to them. It's not like, telling someone that the movie was so good that they get to the movie and it's not that great. This is I 100% believe that you come through for all your people, and it shows in repeat business. But so let's get to this point. You and I were talking a couple days ago, and I thought there was some really good wisdom that you shared in terms of business ownership, business development. And I've always mentioned to you that you're one of the greats in terms of creating relationships with people. And you kind of took it a step further and talked a little bit about ease of doing business. So tell us how you do that and how you've created a successful media company, and particularly why people will continue to work with you over and over again.
Yes, the way I what I do is video production, obviously, and I always approach that as if it's we take it seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And everyone, no matter what we're doing, if it's a podcast, if it's a commercial, corporate video, everything should be fun in this space. It's serious. The people involved, the people on camera should take what they're saying seriously, depending on what we're doing. But the way that I approach everything from concept to completion is obviously I want to make it as easy as it is as possible. I don't want to make things complicated. I don't want to send contracts if I don't have to. A lot of people in this, it kind of turns people off. I tried to get into this space where I would send a project estimate with, everything itemized. And literally, I don't think, and I was talking to another video creator the other day, and neither one of us have had any success with that approach with a client. It's certainly not a new client. I think it's more of a turn off in the for what we do for them. We try to keep it as easy as we can up front, and then on the day of the shoot or when we're shooting, we try to be as friendly. I mean, that's really, I mean, it shouldn't be difficult for you to sort of show up to a shoot and just be in a good mood. Even if, like, you're having a bad day, it's like, hey, look, we're shooting video. They are looking forward to this most of the time. Most of the time the client is looking forward to it. The staff is looking forward to it. I did a jewelry store a couple weeks ago in St. Augustine, and everyone was involved to some degree. It was kind of fun. And those are the kind of shoots, you really enjoy. You have the owner who's going to be speaking on camera, and she was really good. So that really helped. And then all the people around her were helping us with B-roll, so they're not actors, but they were very happy to be a part of it. And just, I always remind myself that I do this every day, but they don't do this every day. And it's like
Mm.
a special occasion, when somebody comes in with lights and a camera and microphones and all that stuff. So I want it to be special for them, and I want it to be fun and easy, and I know some people in this space take themselves too seriously, as if they're Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan, and it gets in the way of the relationship you're making with the client because you're making it about yourself, and it's really not about yourself, not at this level.
I've also noticed that you say that you mentioned that people are excited and interested in it. I've also kind of seen you operate in a few instances, and there have been some people who maybe aren't totally excited to be on camera, or even if they are excited, then when the lights come on and you're getting ready to say action, next thing you know, there's sweating bullets. And talk a little bit about your how you're able to, because I think this applies to a lot of businesses when anytime there's nerves and stress involved. Talk a little bit about how you're able to disarm people.
Sure. It's funny you say that because every once in a while you do find somebody who they're just nervous from from the get-go. And some people, like you said, they'll clam up when the red light goes on, you know.
We both know some commercials. We won't name names, but we know
Yeah.
some commercials that.
The the first thing you I like to tell people is this is not live. I know it seems like common sense, but we can do this over and over again until we get it right. That's usually enough right away to say it's not like we have limited supply of film or we're not shooting on film, you know. I've usually got plenty of time. So the first thing I always tell people is just relax. If you don't, you know, we can do this um, as many times as we need, you know, and usually that's enough to get them to kind of and what's funny is you almost always see a transformation when you get them to read it. So the one thing is actually one technique is really to say, okay, just read the script. If you see it, like if they're trying to memorize lines and that's getting in the way, okay, just read it for right now. And we'll just read it like this, hold the paper up and read it. And that's you know, and we'll do it once they get to about 4 or 5 times and then we start doing it, you'll notice that by the end, not only have they gotten way better, but they're having fun and they want to
Right.
keep going. They want to do it. You know, every once in a while, you get somebody who is just almost impossible to get them to give you something that you need. But that's rare. Usually people start coming out of their shells and they actually end up enjoying what they're doing and they want to keep going. And really, like I said, I don't know if I have tons of techniques on that, but it's really just about your personality, which is also what I think, you know, you sell as whatever you're doing, obviously. But in this case, you know,
Sure.
video production, it's me. I have to, you know, I consider myself somebody, I'm kind of like a hybrid introvert, extrovert. And
Yeah.
so I feel like I can turn it on when I need to. And it's not fake or anything, you know, because I do enjoy working with people and I love seeing people go from nervous to comfortable in front of the camera. I mean, it almost always happens, and I'm telling you, they always enjoy it, even if they're not talking, they're just doing B-roll. And as we got into what we'll end up doing is, you know, we'll get like 5 questions in, he's loosened up, we're almost done, and then we'll go back to those first 2 questions because now he's
No,
loosened
smart.
up. So let's go back to the first two, and then throughout the day, because we were there most of the day shooting when we got to a point where we were doing B-roll, I noticed the same guy is like an office jokester. He's got a good sense of humor. Like it's
Right.
dry, and it's like, and he's loosening up. He's having fun on B-roll and everything. So it's just always fun to see. It's fun to see people, and if we can get them to deliver their lines once they've relaxed, I feel like I've done a good job at that point.
For sure. Yeah. So, well, what I heard you say here in terms of the initial question, which was, you're great at building relationships. You have a great book of business in terms of referral and repeat business. What I heard you say was make it fun, make it easy to do business with you, be friendly. And I'll add one. I think you kind of hinted to it, but I think it's also part of what helps you set people at ease is that you're authentic. You're not showing up, you're not uncomfortable in your own skin, you're not trying to be somebody who you're not. And I think that probably also helps just kind of create the entire environment that you're discussing. So, in addition to those things, is there any other words of wisdom you would bring to someone who is getting ready to start a business similar to yours?
Yes, probably the first thing
Don't
that
do
comes.
it.
No, the first thing that comes to mind is something I think everybody in this space deals with is obsessing over gear. You know, like
Okay.
the latest cameras, the latest this, that, and the other. Because though it can separate you from others having like better gear, and I would say get as good of gear as you can. And I don't want to sound trite or too cliched, but I learned from a good friend of mine at WJCT that, you know, the first thing is, you know, the storytelling aspect of it. no matter what you're doing, you're telling a story. In every single video that you do, there's some sort of story that's being told. So that has to drive the whole project. That has to drive your whole career in a way. And it's something we all have to remind ourselves because I do it too. I obsess over, oh, I need to upgrade this, I need to do this, that, and the other. And sometimes you do have to, but um, I just think if somebody were starting off in this, get decent equipment, don't obsess over it, but just worry about.
Dan, thanks so much for being part of this today. And where can people find you?
They can find me at grayfrogmedia.com. That's GRAY. Or you can always email me at dan@grayfrogmedia.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know what those links would be off the
Okay.
top of my head, but
All right, bud. Thanks so much. Appreciate you being part of this.
thank you, Kevin.